Your persistence is going to be rewarded with a most accomplished professional speaker, actually quite a renowned professional speaker. Dr. Jerry Teplitz was originally an attorney and now has a PhD in holistic health sciences. He has spoken to more than 1 million people and has been inducted as a legend of the speaking profession by the Veteran Speakers Network. He's the author of 9 books and 2 bestsellers on Amazon, Switched On Selling and Switched On Networking. He's the Vice President of the Fellowship of Board Directors and has served on the board for many years. On the topic of exploring a number of healing modalities, please welcome Jerry Teplitz.
Thank you, Jim. So what we'll be looking at are 3 modalities I want to share with you today. One is called Traeger Psychophysical Integration. One is Shiatsu. And the other one is Brain Gym with a touch of kinesiology as a part of that. So I'm going to start with the psychophysical integration that was developed by a gentleman who was a boxer originally. And his name was Milton Traeger. And he had a trainer who would work on him after boxing match or get ready, do massages before and after. And so one time the trainer was hurt and he pulled like muscles or something. And Milton said, well, I've been experiencing what you do. Let me do it to you. I said, okay. And he works on the guy, and the guy says after he's done, kid, you got hands. And that statement put Milton on a whole venture of looking to explore and see how he can use I got hands. And so what he did is he wound up becoming a medical doctor because he wanted to figure out what the hell he was doing and how it was impacting. That was how motivated he was for doing it. And he then developed Traeger Bodywork. He was actually the house doctor for most of the hotels in Hawaii. So that when somebody got sick on vacation at a hotel, he's the one that they would call. And the way I got involved with Traeger is I went to California in 1970 after I left my job as an attorney. I decided to go out to California for 5 weeks. I had no plans. It was going to be what happens, happens. And I wound up going to workshops and trainings that just popped in, and I went. And I was getting ready to leave and drive back home to Chicago when I found out about this Traeger Bodywork class. But I was supposed to leave. And I said, oh. And so I stayed. And I wound up experiencing Traeger Bodywork, and I got certified in it. I also had the honor of several times when I was out speaking in Hawaii to have dinner with Milton and his wife, Emily. So, just couldn't bring his little tears. So I wanted to share this with you because what Traeger is about, Jack, can you get me a mic stand?
Yeah, sure.
What Traeger is about is the notion of if you put the body in motion, you start shaking it, you're then able to stretch it and move it in ways that you wouldn't think of, because what you're doing with the motion of the movement is the brain doesn't hear that you're trying to stretch it, because what you're doing is you're sending signals to the brain that is, well, I'm just rocking. And you're also, as a practitioner, using your mind. So what you're doing is you're saying to that muscle you're working on, how can it be lighter and freer and easier? And so I want to do a little demonstration of that for you. So if I take your hand like this and I pull it, you feel that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if I go like this, and I, hold on, and I start pulling it, do you feel that the same?
No, it's different.
It's different, okay? Because what I'm doing is I'm letting the brain not know what I'm really doing. what I'm doing is creating a motion, and I was just pulling it so that it's then allowing me to take parts of the body that are jammed and start moving and changing the flow of it. So you're working the whole body that way. So for example, on the stomach, I could do a massage, and while I'm massaging, rotating back and
Are we
forth.
done?
Not yet.
That's it.
And then I'd be pulling it apart while I'm doing that to create that openness in that whole area. And so I want to give you an experience with this. Actually, go back. I want to give you all an experience with this so you can kind of get a flavor for how you can kind of use it instantly for yourself to get rid of tension and tightness in your body. So I want everybody to stand up. And what you're going to do is, let's see, it's tight. Okay. So what you're going to do is, I want you to put both hands out in front of you. And so just kind of measure where they are, okay? So I'm going to take one hand, and what I want you to do is you're going to start just shaking it very lightly, but at the fingertips first. Just very lightly, back and forth, just shaking and moving it back and forth. And in your mind saying, how can this movement be lighter, be freer? Now move it up and get it into the elbow area. How can it be lighter? How can it be freer? And move up to the upper arm. And just kind of feel like it's extending out. How can it be lighter and freer? And now start moving it and let it drop. And going back and forth. Okay, and stop. So put your arms out in front of you. Anybody notice the arm we just worked with being longer?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for coming today. So what we've done is we've now added dimension by doing almost nothing. I do want to get you cool. So let's just start with the fingertips. And start getting a little movement in there. Now put it into moving up to the elbow, shaking. And now the arm, get some movement going, so the arm kind of drops down, raises up, drops down, swings back and forth and around, and just a little shaking and thinking, how can this be lighter and freer and longer? Okay, and stop what you're doing, put them both out in front of you, and hopefully they're the same. So that's one element. You can use this, like, I've used this, stay standing because you're still going to do another exercise right now. I've done this, I'm going to share with you now, when I've been driving for long distances, and I get out of the car and I'm tired. This is the whole body, because you actually can reinvigorate the whole body with this. And so what you do is, we're going to start, and if you need support for yourself, take it back and take it by the back of the chair if you do need support for yourself. So we're just going to start with the foot. And again, if you need support, take the back of the chair. And just start shaking that around. And then let's add the other side. Just shaking that. And let's get it to the torso, just moving that around. And the arms. And the arms can go up in the air. And just shaking it around. And kick with your foot. So in effect, you're almost dancing. That looks like it's spastic. Okay, and stop. Put your hands at your sides, close your eyes, and just feel what you're feeling inside now. Are you feeling a lot more energy? Yeah. So imagine driving long distances, you get out of the car, you got stiffness and stuff, and literally I'll do this, and I'm now energized again and relaxed for driving some more. You can all be seated. The fortunate part about doing it at rest area, they're never going to see you again. And by the time you're done, if they call the cops on you, you're going to be. So that's what Traeger is about. There is the Traeger Institute, which is Traeger Psychophysical Integration. GER. And so, and they still exist, and they're still doing certifications as far as I know, so that people can get certified in this work. And when you're working with somebody, you're working on a table normally. So you're working, and you work the entire body when you're working with somebody. So that's Traeger. That's the first modality I wanted to share with you. The second one is shiatsu. Shiatsu is a Japanese pressure technique. It's like acupuncture, except you use your fingers. And the way I got involved with shiatsu is back in around 1970, I was studying at a place called the Temple of Kriya Yoga, and in Chicago, and they were giving a course, and I was an attorney at that time, but I was also doing this kind of work, and they were giving a course on Japanese massage. And I said, Japanese massage? It sounds kind of interesting, and it turned out to be shiatsu. So shiatsu is about 4,000 or 5,000 years old. It was developed in Japan. What they noticed in the Japanese, over in China, they were doing acupuncture, the use of needles. Somebody in Japan figured out, well, what if I use my fingers instead of needles? And that was how shiatsu started to come about. And so I got excited by it, and very quickly I actually started to develop treatments that I hadn't been taught. And one was how to get rid of a headache or a hangover in 90 seconds. A treatment that would get rid of migraines in 5 minutes, menstrual pain, lower back pain, stiff neck and shoulders. So a whole range of things started coming through me and to me, and also some stuff that I saw in the book that I then adapted, some books that I adapted. My first book was published in 1976 by Japan Publications in Japan, in English. And that was actually their first English-speaking book that they published. And they're the ones who published a whole series of books on shiatsu. And I had shiatsu in my very first book. And the way I discovered that it worked for hangovers is I actually started speaking at colleges. I created a program that I called How to Relax and Enjoy Being a Student or Passing Your Exams. And so I would go into a college and I'd show them meditate. And this is when all this stuff was weird stuff. Meditation, yoga, some yoga exercises, shiatsu. And so we publicized it as headache and migraine relief. And the way I discovered the migraine relief is that I was at a convention where I was marketing myself to the college student union boards, programming boards to be a speaker and be brought in to speak on that topic. And I had an exhibit booth there, and one morning this guy came up to me and said, because these kids party at night with lots of alcohol. And he comes up to me and says, "Can you do anything for a hangover?" I said, "Well, I do this treatment for headaches. I don't know if it works for hangovers, so sit down." And I did the treatment on him, and I finished it. It only takes about 90 seconds. And he literally jumped up and said, "Let's party!" So that's how I learned to work for hangovers. So I want to actually give you an experience with shiatsu, doing it on a partner, okay, and doing it on yourself. I'll show you how to do that as well. So, and I have instructions with me that I'll be giving out as a handout at the end. So you want to pair up with somebody. You're going to be having one person seated. The person that's doing the treatment first, you're going to be standing on the seated person's, their left-hand side, unless you're a lefty. Lefties stand on the right side and reverse the instructions that I'm saying. We want you to use the hand that is your stronger hand. So I'm teaching it for the righties, so lefties make the adjustments for yourself. So find a partner, and you're standing on their left-hand side. So you may have to move the chairs around a little bit to get next to the person. So here's the instructions. The person you're going to be working on, they're going to sit upright with their feet flat on the floor. If they have glasses on, have them take it off. The other instruction is you're not attempting to cause pain with shiatsu. What makes it work is a hard, steady, direct pressure, but you're not trying to get to pain. It's described as a cross between pleasure and pain. So the instruction to the person is, if they feel pain, to say ouch immediately, and you release. You then go on to the next point an inch away. You're going to do the same degree of hard pressure as you did on the point where they said ouch, except there may not be pain there, because they won't say ouch necessarily. And so you're treating each point with this hard, steady, direct pressure, and letting them tell you if it's an ouch, and let go, and they go on to the next point. Now, when you come back through the second time through, when you get to that ouch point, what you do is you press it gently, and then start building your pressure. And what happens most times is the pain will have disappeared, which I find fascinating. But if they say ouch again, let go and go on to the next point. Okay, so you're now going to place your, and you're using mostly your thumb, the fleshy ball part of the thumb, to apply the pressure. Now, so you're going to place your left hand on their forehead. Take your right thumb, the fleshy ball part of the thumb, to the hairline, which is the front middle of the forehead, or where the hairline used to be. So you have your left hand on, and so it's the right hand that's doing the pressure. So you're pressing down hard. 1, 2, 3. Now it's as if we divided the head in half. You're following that line straight back, skip an inch back, and press 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Ask your partner if it is too hard. Get some feedback from them. And if they say it's not, press harder. Now skip back an inch at a time. Skip back an inch at a time. 3 seconds at each point. Where we're going to be working to is to the base of the skull. You find a bump back there. Right below the bump is a hollow. That's called the medulla oblongata. You're pressing right in the medulla with your thumb for 3 seconds. That's as far down as you go for the first part of the treatment. And just keep going an inch at a time until you get to the hollow, the base of the skull. And then just release after the 3 seconds up there. Then I'll give you the next instruction. So next instruction is you're going to be standing to the front of the person, or you could stand to the rear, but I prefer the front. If you can work with that, if you can't, stand to the rear. You're going to take both of your thumbs, and let me demonstrate first, to the crown of the head, the highest point of the head. You're drawing a straight line down to the temples, which is the front middle of the earlobe on both sides of the head. You're going to go back up to the crown of the head. You were just looking to see where am I going when you drew that line. You go back up to the crown of the head and press 3 seconds. Skip down an inch. And keep skipping down an inch at a time, 3 seconds at each point until you get to the temples. Press there for 3 seconds and then release. That's the second part of the treatment. So,
Down, up, down.
yeah, so you're just going down so you know where you're going.
Right.
And then go back up, then start pressing.
Oh, I see. So middle of the head.
Yeah, go down to the temple so you know where you're going. Front, middle of the ear. Go back up to the crown, and that's where you start your pressure. Next part of the treatment, you're going to stand back at the side of the person. You're going to re-support the front of the head with your left hand. You're going to take your right thumb and middle finger. Let me demonstrate this first. You can find the back of the earlobe on both sides of the head. You're going to go straight in from there on both sides, 1.5 inches to 2 inches in. If you reach there, you'll find little lumps, just little hills, little protrusions there. That's where the first point you're going to do at the back of the head. Then you're going to skip halfway into the medulla, to the hollow, and you're pressing to the front of the body on these. Then you're going to press right in the medulla, so that's 3 points. Go in about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in, you find that little lump, little hill. Press, your left hand's on the forehead when you're doing it. Then halfway into the medulla, then right in the medulla. Those are the 3 points you're doing there.
Is that on the one side and not on the other side?
Both sides.
Okay.
So you're on both sides. Both sides, and then just in the center of one thumb. Next part. You're going to drop down 1/2 inch from the medulla. You're going to have your thumb and middle finger on both sides of the spinal column. You're not squeezing in on the spinal column, you're pressing towards the front of the body, skipping down 1 inch at a time, 3 seconds at each point, until you get to where the base of the neck and shoulders are. That's when you stop. It's maybe 3 or 4 points down the neck, depending on how long neck the person is. So you're pressing to the front of the body on both sides, go down on both sides of the neck. So you're not squeezing in, you're pressing to the front of the body. Now that's once through. To do an effective treatment, you normally do it 2 times through, possibly 3 times. Because of time limitations today, ask your partner how it felt just with 1 treatment and then change places so they'll get to experience this too. So ask them how it felt. So for those folks who just got the treatment, are you feeling more awake, more relaxed? You feel like you have energy? Yeah. Now, when you're working on somebody else who has a headache or hangover, you may have to do it a 3rd time through. So if 2's not enough, just do it a 3rd time. How do you do this on yourself? Well, first of all, you don't have to put your hand here, your head's not going anywhere. Second, if you can't reach to get a good hard pressure, what you can do instead is put your middle finger on top of your index fingernail, and that'll give you a similar kind of pressure. Third, when you're working in the back of the head, instead of using thumb and middle finger back there, use both your thumbs, or the alternate way I just showed you to hold your fingers. And the 4th way, instead of doing it just twice through or 3 times, when you do it on yourself, you may have to do it 3 times, possibly 4, just because you can't get the same degree of pressure as when somebody's working on you. So that is an experience of shiatsu. The last piece I want to cover, how much time do I have left?
You're at 34 right now.
I got 34 minutes.
You're at 35 right now.
35, okay. So what I wanted to share with you is how you can take a negative, stressful thought and get rid of the charge in 2 minutes using something called brain gym, which are physical movement exercises. And so I want everybody to stand up, put everything down at the side. And what I want you to do is I want you to pick a really negative, stressful thought that you'd like to get rid of the charge attached to it. So when you have that thought, in a moment you're going to close your eyes, I'll pick that thought. And then what I'm going to tell you to do is to visualize your physical posture. So your eyes are closed, so you're not opening your eyes and looking down, but you're looking internally. Am I upright? Am I slumped? Am I going side to side? Whatever, don't do it yet. Whatever you observe, including nothing, is fine. Then I'll ask you to observe your breathing. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it erratic? Whatever you observe, including nothing, is fine. Then I'll ask you to observe if you have any pain in your body and where it is. Some people do, some people don't. And if you don't have pain, that's fine. Then I'll ask you to observe what's going on in your mind. Is it calm? Is it erratic? Is it jumping all over the place? Again, whatever you observe is fine, including nothing. Because what's going to happen is, I can guarantee at least one area, you're going to observe something. Because then we'll do these brain gym movement exercises and get rid of the charge attached to that thought in the 2 minutes, okay? So, standing upright, hands at the side of the body, close your eyes, and I want you to think of that negative, stressful thought. And intensify that thought. And without adjusting your body, just observe your physical posture. Observe your breathing. Observe any pain you feel in your body and where it is. And observe what's going on in your mind. Okay, open your eyes. So how many observed physical posture would say they would describe something like slumping? Raise your hand if you observe slumping, okay. How many observed on the breathing shallow? Okay. And we've seen just better, buddy. How many had pain anywhere? Some people do, some people don't. Raise your hand if you did have pain. So a whole bunch of you have pain. And how many observed like churning in the mind? Raise your hand for that. Yeah. So pretty much everybody observed almost everywhere. And if you just did one, that's perfectly fine, because that's the one we're going to change. Okay? So let's be seated. So Brain Gym was actually developed by a fellow by the name of Dr. Paul Dennison. He has a PhD in education, and he was working with children and adults with learning disabilities, where he was able to take children and adults with learning disabilities, D and F graded students, and give them the capability of becoming A-level students in a semester just by using movement. When I learned about it, I got really excited, and I got certified very quickly. But I saw that people were using this in the education arena. My background was more in the business arena, so I asked if I can create a course for salespeople. And Dr. Dennis and his wife Gail said, sure. And so I created a one-day seminar called Switched On Selling. Didn't teach a single technique of selling the entire day. It's this brain re-education using these brain gym movements you're going to experience in a moment. So we took people through every part of the selling process. We had sentences we were using where we could check whether they were on or off for different parts of the process. And then we took them through the brain gyms to switch them on. And it was mind-blowing. We did a study with 695 salespeople. Gave them a pre-seminar questionnaire when they walked in first thing in the morning. Post-seminar questionnaire at the end of the day, just to see what happened. But then I collected the forms back and got them back to them a month later and said, do it a third time, because I wanted to get over seminar high a placebo effect. How many have gone to a seminar? You look really excited. 3 days later, you do what you did before. I wanted to see that anything really changed, so one of the statements was, I'm comfortable asking for the order and closing the sale. Beginning of the seminar day, 52% of these real salespeople responded negatively. End of the seminar day, only 8% were still negative. A month later, only 6% were negative. Instead of going back up, they went down further. On strongly agreeing to that statement, beginning of the day it was 16% said strongly agree to asking for the order and closing the sale. End of the day jumped up to 35%. A month later, when they were actually back in the field, it jumped up to 50%, saying strongly agree with the other 43% and agree. So we now moved 93% to the positive side, from not teaching a single technique of selling, just re-educating the brain with movement. And that's what you're going to experience now. So I'm going to put you into, there's hookups, it's called. This was before the term hookup meant something else. So to do hookups, what you're going to do is I want you to clasp your hands together. And put your feet flat on the floor. So everybody has one thumb on top. We're going to call that whole side of your body the primary side of your body. Now release your hands, put your arms straight out in front of you. Turn the backs of your hands towards each other. Take the primary side hand over the top of the other. You're going to intertwine your fingers, and if you're able to, bring your hands under and into your chest. If you're not able to, just leave them out and just put them down. And now you're going to put your primary side ankle in front of the other ankle. In front of, all the way in front of you. So in other words,
Cross your.
cross the ankle. You're going to put your tongue to the roof of your mouth, 1/4 inch behind your front teeth. So backs of the, release. Backs of the hands touch each other, move them apart. Primary side hand over the top of the other. Intertwine your fingers. Bring your hands under and into your chest. So, and then do the primary side ankle. You're going to put your tongue to the roof of the mouth, 1/4 inch behind your front teeth, keep it up there. In a moment, you're going to close your eyes. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. And you're going to keep breathing. And what I want you to do with your mind is think of that negative thought negatively. As much intensity, as much clarity as you can negatively. Somewhere in holding hookups, there's part 1, there's part 2, and then positive points, and negative will fade away. Other thoughts will pop in, your mind will wander off. When that happens, switch and stay positive the rest of the process. Close your eyes, keep breathing, we'll hold this for 30 seconds.
You're still holding the negative thought.
Until it disappears, fades, goes away, then switch. Okay, open your eyes, release your hands, uncross your feet. Part 2 of hookups. You're just going to put your fingertips together. Your hands can be up in the air in your lap, just be comfortable. If the negative is still there, continue to view it negatively. Mind wanders off, other thoughts pop in, switch and go positive, stay positive the rest of the process. Tongue is to the roof of the mouth. Close your eyes, keep breathing. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds also. Okay, open your eyes, release your hands. So that was hookups part 1, part 2. The last part is called the positive points. To do the positive points, you're going to take 3 fingers from each hand. You're going to find the middle of your eyebrow, go halfway up to the hairline or where it used to be. You've got the curved part of the head there. Where the curve is, you're placing your fingers lightly. So the fingers are like 1 inch or 2 apart, depending on how wide your forehead is. So it's touching, but it is light pressure. So you place 3 fingers there. If the negative's still there, continue to view it negatively. If otherwise mind wanders off, hard to focus, view it positively, close your eyes, keep breathing. We'll hold this for 30 seconds. Okay, release your hands, open your eyes. Let's all stand up again. And so once again, you're going to start thinking of that same thought we started with. And what you're going to do is then you're going to observe, I'll give instructions, your physical posture, breathing, pain, what's going on in your mind, and we'll see what's different. So hands to the side of the body. Close your eyes. And think of that situation now. And intensify that thought. And without adjusting your body, just observe your physical posture, your breathing, any pain you feel in the body and where it is. And what's going on in your mind. Now open your eyes, and so on the physical posture, were you, compared to slump, were you feeling now more upright? Raise your hand, more upright. Breathing, it was shallow before, are you now noticing deeper? Raise your hand. If you had any pain anywhere, do you still have the pain, or is it gone?
Some of it, yeah.
Some of it, but it's gone. We only did 30 seconds each time, so you can just do it a little longer. And did anybody notice a change in their mind when it was doing?
Yeah.
So,
Can I ask a question? So every time you went to a place, because you talked so fast, I wasn't quite sure. So we thought, we carried on thinking the bad thought.
Initially.
And then we, on each place, because I didn't do that, you know.
no, we weren't thinking in a place.
When you got your hand in where the different positions you were telling us to do.
No, they're two separate techniques.
No, not the shiatsu. I meant that we had 3 different positions.
Yeah, we had
of
3
the hand,
positions.
And when we went to this one, we had to then think the negative thought and then let it relax or not.
No, you stayed with the negative until the change disappeared, hard to focus it on, can't find it.
Okay.
So in other words, you stayed with the negative, it could be for the entire process.
Okay.
But once you got the switch, then you went positive the rest of the process.
Okay, got it.
So let me show you the difference now, where we started with that thought by picking a very positive thought for yourself. I'm going to take you through the same visualization. So close your eyes, think of a very, hands at the side of the body, and just think of a very positive thought. And observe your physical posture now. Observe your breathing. Observe the pain you feel in your body and where it is. And observe what's going on in your mind. Okay, open your eyes. So with this one, you're probably feeling upright, breathing deeper, no pain anywhere, mind was real good. And so the question is, when we did the hookups and the positive points, and we switched the negative to the positive, is that now closer to the real super positive thought? So are you now more aligned? It may not be perfect, we only did 30 seconds each movement, so I would, you tend to hold it longer, but you're probably all now closer to the positive side because we've taken the charge off the negative thought. You see it? So not bad for about 2 minutes, huh?
Yeah.
So I've got handouts for everybody.
You're at 50.
What?
50 now. You're at 50.
Okay, and I'm supposed to go 45. So.
Oh.
Okay. So, show one more thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things that I demonstrated is muscle checking kinesiology with folks. And some of you have noticed when I do hugging, I tend to hug on the heart side. If you may not be aware of it, but that's hugging heart to heart. There's an energy differential that happens. So, so why don't you two, since you're a couple, come on up. Okay, so I'm going to muscle check Levi so people can see this. And you put this arm out, Levi. Thumb down, and you hook the side of your body like that. So you're going to push up. I'm pushing down when I say resist. Ready? Resist. Okay, you felt that as a hard pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to hug going to that side.
This side?
Yeah, no, no, you can keep this arm out.
Oh,
So you're both hugging. So hug her with your other hand, Levi. Oh, I got it. Okay, ready? Push up, Levi. And his arm came down. Now go to the other side.
It was on the other side.
Yeah, it was on the
It
other
was
side.
on the other side.
No, the other side. Hold on. He was over here. Hold on, let's do this again. Let's do this.
Like this side?
Yeah. Arm out.
I'm up?
Yeah, arm out. Okay. Ready? Push up. They're reversed. So notice one side had a difference. Okay, it tends to be the heart to heart. It trains both hearts energetically. So it creates a difference in how people feel. With guys, we have a way of avoiding that regardless.
Slipping on the back.
Yeah, literally. Come on.
For 3 seconds, that's
Yeah,
it.
I'll show you. You stay here, I'll get it back. So you guys are gonna hug and draw out to check it. Okay, come down. Okay, push up. Okay, what you're gonna do is hug and you're gonna tap on his back. Okay,
Which side?
Yeah, so hug and just do a bunch of tapping on his back. You do it on him. Okay, a whole bunch of tapping. Ready? Push up. Okay? And now without hug, just don't tap. Just hug.
On this straight?
And now, ready?
Oh my God.
So, guys,
Good hug, man.
Don't get no idea.
so guys, if you have a group of guys, you're here, because it's a way of keeping distance. And so hugging without tapping creates a different energy for the guys. So you can teach your man how to do that. So I just want to conclude with, saying you have powers, you have abilities, but you have capabilities that you probably never thought of. And this whole weekend was about that and what we can tap into. And I hope I've kind of maybe been the cherry on top of the sundae.
Thank you.